What's up, everybody, and welcome in to another edition of the Sit Down. As always, if you enjoy this video, please make sure you hit that like button and let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you're watching this video live and checking in here on a Friday night, I want to say hello. Make sure you say hello to us in the chat box. Get involved with the conversation. If you're new around here, you just haven't done it yet, you're living under a rock and seeing this video for the first time, I don't know what you're waiting for. Hit that subscribe button below now so you never miss another sit down video. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We're here live on a Friday. What's up? What's going on? Haven't talked to you guys in a while. Haven't really been on much recently, last couple of days. Just really been trying to crank out some new content, get out some interviews, and keep it pushing. Not get too indebted with stuff that doesn't mean anything. But we're here on a Friday night. I told you guys I was going to try to do some Friday lives. I was not available to do one earlier today, so I thought, oh, I'll jump on tonight and see what's going on with everybody, and see how things are hitting. I want to talk about a couple of things here, but what we'll do is we'll let a couple people usher in here. Already 30 people in here. 1 minute in. Thanks for being here. If you're enjoying the show, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure if you would like to give to the channel, you give to the channel. I always appreciate all of your donations. We always have some great people in here that like to give back to the show. So that means a lot to us. If you want more great crime content, check out my podcast, The Sit Down, a mafia history podcast, a crime mystery podcast. You can check it out in the description of this video. So where do we start, guys? We have a lot going on. Let me say hello to a couple of people here before we get started. Before we get started, though, I wanted to tell all of you, guys, I've said before and I'll say it again. There is not a lot of great content in this space. There just isn't. There are so many people that just come on here and talk about nothing. They don't really offer you much of anything. Now, again, I would urge you, if you like this content and that kind of content, check it out. Check it all out. But I will say this, and I've told all of you before, Mikey Scars and RJ have a great channel. I would urge you, go check out their Patreon as well. It's only a couple dollars a month. I think it's $10 a month. It's nothing. You're learning stories. You're hearing stories that have really never been told before. You're getting a really interesting look into someone that was very high up in the Gambino crime family. I'm a patron. It's really good stuff. So I urge you to go check that out. Get back to some of these content creators, the ones that are truly putting in work. And I know RJ. I know him personally. I've hung out with him many times. I think I'm going to link with him tomorrow. I know the kind of work he puts into this stuff. I mean, him and I both really hit the ground. He puts a lot of time into editing that stuff and just really trying to crank out good content. And take it from someone that I'm constantly striving to create good content. And if I have to travel, if I have to put in my own money, I will, because I believe in what I do. When I first started to sit down, okay, there was nothing. I had no YouTube, I had no Twitter account, I had no podcast. Okay, I created it, and now I'm one of the best in the space. And look, regardless of what other people tell you, I work for a major media company. They make money off the show, and I have a product that people want to consume. So, you know, I think someone that really puts in work is those guys, and I urge you to check out what they're doing. James Paul says, "Welcome to the sit down." Yes, welcome to the sit down. Thank you for being here, James Paul. I hope all is well. Sorry, guys, real quick. Let me share this on Twitter. I always fucking forget about doing that. Hit that like button. Only 14 likes. I'm gonna keep getting on you guys about that. Hit the damn like button, please. It means a lot to the channel. Though it's funny because Mr. Beast recently said that hitting the like button doesn't mean anything. But for me, I urge you, I want you to hit that like button. It definitely allows us to, probably get some, hits to the algorithm, if you will. Let me share this real quick. I want to have our Twitter group come in live late night. All right. We're good to go there. JA, what's up from San Antonio? What up, JA? I love San Antonio. That's one of my favorite cities. I really love San Antonio. I've been there once. I was there for the Final Four in 2018. It was awesome. Love the Final Four. Love San Antonio. I have a friend of mine that has a great restaurant, JA. Go check it out. It's called Southtown 101. It's in the Southtown section. It's a great bar. They got great burgers, great food. Go check it out, JA. Southtown 101. If you see the owner, ask for the owner. Tell him Jeff Nadu sent you. I'm sure he'll appreciate that. Bong Funk MC. What's up, my brother? William Milburn, ready for a great show. Thank you. Yeah, we're going to have some fun tonight. Talk a little bit about some things here. If you have a question, a mafia question, really a question about anything, you're welcome to ask. We never turn off any questions. You're welcome to ask whatever you want. Tyler DeRazio says, how was meeting Gravano? Yeah, so let me get into this. So Sammy is on the show. I'm going to put that interview out next week. I'm working on getting it edited right now. I'll be honest, guys. I'll kind of let you all know how it all worked out. I've been wanting to speak to Sammy for a while, and I'll be really honest. I don't want to just speak to him once, but I was really just trying to get him on for the first time. I'm actually planning down the road to go to Arizona and sit down with him as well. But it was really just about getting my foot in the door with those guys over there. And to make you guys understand, Sammy has a whole team. He has a whole website and a whole business. He's really done well for himself, quite frankly. As someone that is in the content game, he has completely created a company for himself. He has people that work for him. He has people out there doing things for him, selling for him, getting his rights out there, creating television shows and films and documentaries. He really has something built. Whether you like the guy or not, he is really building something. So, I've always said, whether I like the person, whether I agree with the person, whether I think the person was a great gangster, whatever, it really doesn't matter to me, because to me, this channel is not about me. It is about you. And the truth is, Sammy Gravano is a major piece of mafia history, whether you like him or not. And I've had premonitions about Sammy. I don't think that's any secret. I don't agree with what he did. But as I get older, I realize, and I think any adult, keyword adult, will understand what I'm about to say. I don't judge him. Okay. I didn't walk in his shoes, and he lived his life and had to make the decisions he had to make. It's not my job to judge. It's about to get him on my show. Maybe he teaches us something that we didn't know before. And listen, when I contacted them, I didn't know if he would get back to me. I was returned with a pretty quick email. One of his people, she reached out. She said, yeah, we'd be happy to come on. When works for you? We were able to set something up, and I actually had to go up to New York last night. I had to do some filming for some other things in New York. And I said to him, well, what about Friday the 4th? And she said, that works perfect. Let's do 2:00 Eastern. He actually called me last night. We spoke for about 20 minutes. And I'll admit, he's very nice. Very nice guy. Definitely very charming. Definitely had an answer to every question. Really didn't say, hey, you can't ask me this, you can't ask me that. I pretty much kind of asked him a lot of things. Now, I will say, I don't think I could ask him all I wanted to in 6 hours. He gave me 2 hours. We had a 2-hour interview. We started from the beginning. We talked about all sorts of things. And listen, I will say this, guys. I'm not going to tell you that everything he tells me is something you didn't know. When you go through his story, you go through things we already know. We got in a lot to some of the early years, some of the Colombo stuff that he was involved with. He actually told me a story about Joe Gallo that I actually didn't know. Now, here's the thing that I want to make clear. Okay. I consider myself someone that knows a lot about the mafia. The story that he told me about Joey Gallo, I actually didn't know. And I've never heard before. It comes straight from him. So I urge you, that's something I'd never heard before. Now, whether or not it is true, that's, I think, something that we have to obviously do more research on. But that was interesting. We talked a lot about his making ceremony, some of his interactions with Paul Castellano. We talked about YouTube. Interestingly enough, he brought up some of his feelings on YouTube. He went on a long rant about one individual that was in and connected to the mafia. He talked about some of the other channels. It was really just a great conversation. He actually gave me some props at one point, said that I have the stamp of approval from him, which, I will say again, Sammy and I, at least from my point of view, there are things about Sammy that I don't like. And I'm sure he'll say the same thing when he gets to know me. But I think as adults, you have to realize that this is part of the history of the mob, and Sammy has a very important story to tell. So I hope you enjoy it. It was, like I said, a long interview. And I'm going to cut it up. I'm going to throw some interesting clips out there. And like I said, I don't think this is the last time I'm going to speak to him. I think when I go out there, if I do go out there and I sit down with him, I think we'll get a lot more out of that because I know him now. We've talked before, and we get into more of, kind of deeper issues and deeper things that he has going on. So it was cool. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that. Shivam says you met Gravano. I did. I spoke to him. Yes. Check in from Brooklyn. Glad to see you, Jeff. Hope you're doing well. Thanks. Same to you, man. Slug, what's up, bro? What's up, Jeff? Happy Friday. Christopher Kennelly. What's up, my brother? How are you? Hope you're doing well. Tom Cusinelli. Good evening. What's up, Tom? I don't think I've ever seen you here before. Welcome in. I hope you're enjoying the channel, bro. Michael Philippe, a mob historian like myself, I love the variety of different stories. Thank you, Michael. Yes, go check out my latest video, my latest 2 videos. Thursday, I've been putting out all my sit-down stuff. And guys, I know some of you are saying, why do you put cartel content here? Because, guys, to be honest, I like the content. And I think when you can break into some other things, you should do it. I thought that interview with Leonardo Silva was incredible. It was one of the best pieces of content I think I've ever done. I really enjoy that stuff, and it was something that I was able to get away from the mafia a little bit with. I'm fascinated by Los Zetas, the Gulf Cartel, Miguel Trevino Morales, those people. And Leo Silva has a truly intimate story. Okay, very few people have been to the places he has, arrested the people he has, the stories he told. They were fascinating, and I wanted you to hear them. I know that won't be my most viewed video, at least on YouTube. Luckily, the podcast did great. I'm sitting top 150 in all true crime podcasts in the world. I'm very proud of that. So, we have a great audience there. YouTube is a little different, but I hope you check that out. The cartels, quite frankly, make the mafia look like a Boy Scout troop. So, check that out. I also did a video on Tuesday about Vinny Artuso. Vinny was actually a hitter in the Castellano hit. His gun jammed that night, which I actually asked Sammy about, and he confirmed that Vinny Artuso's gun did jam. We also talked a lot about that hit. So if you want to hear more about that hit, if you haven't heard enough, we talked a lot about that hit as well. Appreciate that, bro. Jada Scroggins says that cartel shit is the business. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is a depraved world. You're absolutely right about that. Yeah, we'll definitely do some more cartel stuff. I actually was talking with my boy Disturb Reality. We're going to be doing a show very soon. He's going to come on my channel and we're going to do some stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. What we're going to do, I'm not sure. Maybe a Mencho show, maybe a Trevino Morales show. We'll see. I'm kind of still up in the air on that. Schmucky, great show. Thanks, bro. Appreciate that. I thank you for not being part of the back and forth on other channels. Yeah, I couldn't care less, to be honest. I really don't care. Those folks continue to just grind their feet in the mud, not really doing much to grow themselves. Jeff, I didn't know there was a good Gotti brother. Yeah, I've heard that. A guy called Billy. I guess you could do a show on him, but he didn't really and wasn't really connected with the mafia. So I've also look, I'm not going to say that there is no Billy Gotti, but I have a hard time buying it. I'm not saying that it's not his brother, but I don't know much about him. He also is not connected to the mafia, so I don't think there's really a reason to do a show. I saw John Panisi did a show on that. You know, he obviously knows the guy, I guess, so I guess it makes sense for him to do it. But yeah, I have heard of that before of him. I don't know much about him though. Welcome to the NBA. Time to unpack these nuts. Okay, I'm not really sure why that's relevant to this show, but listen, Slug, if you're going to talk about other creators, go do it somewhere else. We're not going to do it here. Happy Friday. What's up, Joe? Joe Losan. How you doing, brother? I would have always wondered why Frankie DeChico would take the risk in killing Castellano. He was in good standing, and if the hit didn't work, he would be killed. I always feel like there is something missing. Well, look, there are two things we talked about very heavily in this interview: Frankie DeChico and that whole situation. So check it out. There was a lot of talk about. I asked Sammy. One of the things I definitely asked him about was his comments on George DeChico and George saying that he um, was a part of the hit on Frank DeChico. There's one thing I will say about Sam Gravano. Um, he loved Frank DeChico. You can still tell. You can tell that they were very close. They were very much brothers almost. So yeah, you'll have to check it out. I think you'll be happy with what you find out. I seen the video with Michael Franzese and his daughter. Yeah, I saw that. I haven't seen it yet, but I've saw that it was out there. What's up, Frank? Everything's good, man. Everything's good. What's his relationship now with Franzese? Not sure. That didn't come up. That didn't come up. Thank you, William. Appreciate that. No, it's no reason to judge, bro. All right, Rasuli Bobby. He's a nice guy. He ruined over 1,000 family members. He ruined a lot of homes, but nevertheless, he has good stories. Yeah, but again, Bobby, you didn't listen. Okay. What I said was he was a nice guy to me. Like, but Bobby, I think we all know what he did. Okay. Listen, Bobby, here's the thing, guys. And this is what all of these channels that we'll talk about this interview don't understand. And this is, again, Bobby, this is to you as well. I am here to create content. My goal is to get the most views as possible. Okay. It's that simple. And Sammy Gravano moves the needle. And he has a lot of stories. His life is very interesting. I know you don't agree with his story. I know you don't agree with what he did. Okay, but I'm kind of tired of all these fucking people who have never walked a day in these people's shoes talking about, I wouldn't have did this, I wouldn't have did that. You don't know what you would do. I don't know what I would do. I'd like to say I wouldn't do it, but again, that's why I don't get involved with crime because I don't want to deal with those decisions. I'm tired of these people. He ruined it. Listen, no offense, Bobby. Everybody that he was involved with was in the mafia as well. They all knew the rules to the game. They're all bad people. Okay. I'm tired of that. Okay. I get he did some bad things. We know he killed a kid. Okay. We know that. Okay. But again, my job is to talk about the mafia and its history. He's part of history. If I ask him the questions and he doesn't answer, I'm not going to keep pressing. I asked him a question. He didn't answer it. I'll tell you that right now. There was one specific question I asked him about. He did not answer. What am I going to press him? Make him tell me? I'm not a dickhead. I'm not going to make him pissed off and upset with me. What kind of person would I be? I'm here to get a quality show and a quality interview. And the people that don't interview him, that's ridiculous. They're never going to grow. And I don't need to explain myself to those types of people. So that's just kind of my little mini rant, if you will. Pothead Mike, good to see you, Jeff. It's hard to sometimes defend the fascination with the mafia. No, it's not. It's just like having a fascination with gardening or bowling or working on cars or golf. It's a history. That's it. It's a hobby, something that people like. Awesome info. Thanks, Frank. Greetings from the Bronx. I like these late night live streams. Glad you're enjoying them, Michael. What's happening? Pat G, my favorite interview was the Gleason interview. I learned new things. Yes, that was one of my favorites. Judge is a great man, and he's a really good dude. If you haven't bought his book, go check it out. The Gotti Wars, the fight against I forget the title, but it's called the Gotti Wars. Bear with me, actually. I think I have it here. I have it right here. Go buy the book. He was on the show. It's very good. Taking down America's most notorious mobster. He sent that for free. Shout out Judge Gleason and his people. All right. We ever talk about the Detroit Mafia? Maybe. I mean, maybe we'll do an episode on it. But again, Ty, there's just so much other content for me to do. Scott Bernstein talks a lot about Detroit. Um, you know, maybe we'll do one or two insular shows on Detroit at some point. OC content more broadly is a perfect fit for the channel. Cartel history is great. Yeah, for sure. Sounds like cartels are structured like the mafia. Somewhat, not really, but somewhat. If you look at the Plaza Boss hierarchy, kind of. You think of a Plaza Boss as aka the leader of a city. They control the drug trade in that city. So let's take Juarez or Reynosa or something. You think of them like a capo. They cover the entire city, and they have soldiers below them. But yeah, in a way, but they're similarly different as well. Hey Jeff, if you ever try to reach out to DeMayo's son, no, I haven't. I've heard certain rumors that he's passed away. I don't confirm those because I'm not sure. But no, I have not. I would love to speak to him, but no, I haven't reached out to him. Lexicon, what's happening? Thanks, bro. Same to you, man. Same to you. Adriano Pingi says, "Who's your all-time favorite, most interesting mobster?" Fat Tony Salerno. Fat Tony Salerno or Chin. Pyramid of Power. Jeff, do you believe John Gotti and Sammy Gravano were present during the Castellano hit? I don't, but I think the feds needed to put Gotti there, not with the traffic around Christmas and that traffic. Okay, do I believe Sammy was there? I asked him about that. You can hear what he said in the interview. Do I believe he was there? Yes, I do. I do believe he was there. And I think it was very similar to the film when he was in the car. I think he was probably there to watch it all go down. I know people don't believe he was there. I do. I think he was there. I do. And I definitely asked him about that. Absolutely. By the way, there was one thing I learned, and I think we all know this. This was top secret, right? This Castellano, it was top fucking secret. In fact, it was taking a while to happen, and they pushed it along. John Alec didn't know about that. Not that I need to tell anyone that. He definitely didn't know about that. I don't know where he ever thought people would believe that. But like, I think 5 people knew. He definitely wasn't one of them. I was thinking about that as I heard about it. Paul W., what's up? What's up, Paul W.? All right, guys, bear with me 1 second. I need to make a quick call here. Bear with me. Let me just see if this guy answers first. Hold on a second. All right, sorry guys. Jeff, have you ever heard of Mattress Mac? Yes, it's put through a couple different books. It's not all through one, but yes, I do know who Mattress Mac is. Absolutely. Tom Frowley, great show. Chicago says hello. Well, good stuff. Thank you, Tom. Shout out to Chicago. I was talking about Chicago today. What's up? Loyalty is everything. How you doing? Arthur Smith, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. 128 people in here. What's up? Feel free to ask a question if you have to. And if you want to, hit that like button. Amen. Vinny Boombots. What can we say about Vinny Boombots? Yet again, very kind. One of our only significant donators. So many people get so much free content and don't uh, give anything, which is okay. It would be welcomed. Vinny Boombots is a great dude, man. He really is. Um, I know today, guys, like this interview I did, it wasn't free. I had to go pay to go up there. I had to stay overnight. I had a lot that went into this stuff. So anytime you guys can get back to the channel, it means a lot. It lets me buy new equipment or travel and do something for the channel. Um, you know, so I always say, I took a chance on myself, with certain things that I'm doing. And I hope down the road it pays off for me. But again, when you do certain things, you got to put your own things into it sometimes, and it costs money. So thank you for, contributing, Vinny. Seriously, it means a lot to me. And to anyone that will to give, it's really, really great. Uh, Jeff, everyone tries to be a hero. Got to shave in your face in the mirror. No one else gets. Great points you make. Yeah, absolutely, Frank. That's well said. You definitely get it. Christopher Kennelly, I'm sick of Gotti. They should have whacked him. Gravano and DeChico would have ran the family better. Completely agree, bro. Completely agree. I always wondered why John wasn't killed. Um, Jeff, that was a fire interview with the DEA agent. Appreciate that. Yeah, it was fun, man. He's a great guy, man. Um, he he definitely had no shortage of stories. I'll tell you what, that grocery store story he told was wild. He just like stumbled across a guy that he had been searching for forever in a grocery store. Um, it was awesome. Um, so yeah, check that out if you haven't. Fish guts, interesting name. It says, "Hey Jeff, hey fellas." Yes, hey fellas, hey ladies, if you're in here. Cup of Joe is a good show about the mafia. All right, never seen it. Greetings from Adelaide, South Australia. 2 p.m. Saturday here. This is a great time for streams for us down here. Thanks for the stream and all your podcasts. That was my Australian accent, not great. No problem, not me. It's 2 o'clock Saturday. So I always wondered this about Australia. If the world ends, will it end there first? You ever think of that? Also, I was thinking about this today. Shout out to you, not me. This is a very morbid thought, but I had this thought, and I was actually, for about 10 seconds, a bit concerned. So I'm on the Amtrak today. I got the 403 train back. I'm on the Amtrak, Newark, Trenton, Philly, so on. We're around Trenton, between Trenton and Philly, and I'm sitting there, and this kid walks up. He's got fatigues on, just a fatigue jacket. I couldn't see his pants. He just had regular pants on, and he has a backpack on, and he's rolling down the corridor this big luggage case. And he had a look to him. It wasn't a good look. It was a very determined look, like he's getting somewhere to do something. And I felt very bad in my head. Couldn't have, I don't know why I thought this, but I thought, oh no, he looks like he's up to something. And I thought immediately, if he or anybody just started shooting on this train, what will we do? And I've mentioned before, I do not like closed spaces, park cars, sitting in park cars, movie theaters, trains. You think about that. Trains are very fast. They take a lot to stop. It's not like they can just stop and everybody can get out. You could do a lot of damage. And I thought about that. It's not like they pat anybody down in trains, right? You go through a airport, you're safe, right? Because you go through all these different things. But when you walk into Penn Station, there's nobody there. They have cops in there, but like they're not on the train. That's one thing about the train system that I'm a bit surprised about. Because like a lot of people ride trains. Why is there no security? Like, would it kill them to have like metal detectors? Could it would take a little bit longer, but even like the ones you have at like football games where like you just walk through them and then they beep and like would it kill them to have those? It was a morbid thought, but for about 10 seconds I was a bit concerned. Good evening, folks. What's up, Brad? Justin Mason, what's up? I just watched the video of Gotti getting beat up in jail. Walter Johnson have the biggest balls ever or just dumb? Um, it's nothing to do with being dumb. He didn't worry about Gotti. Nobody worried about Gotti in prison, and he didn't have to. Gotti had nobody. It's not like Gotti had gangsters in there with him. He was an old man. Walter Johnson was a lunatic. He didn't care about John Gotti. The CO that guarded him said he was one of the most dangerous people he's ever encountered. Believe me, nobody was fucking with Walter Johnson. Trust me. The only people that could have got to Walter Johnson was the Brotherhood, which John tried to partner up with. He just didn't care about Gotti. And Gotti allegedly, according to people, said some racial things, which wouldn't surprise us because he has said racial things before. Um, by the way, I love the new set for the betting show, Jeff. Badass. Yeah, that's not every day, guys. I was just up at the office. That's not going to be every day. But yeah, I was able to do some of the shows there over the last couple of days. Yeah, appreciate that. Did you cover why Sammy had to switch families? Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Very much so. Kurt Vire says real talk. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but thank you. I always wondered how they weren't worried about people talking about the hit and it not getting out beforehand. What balls to pull off that hit? Can't take that away from them. Exactly. Exactly. It was really the most choreographed hit ever. Did you ask Sammy how did Gotti get away with killing the boss? Did Mr. Neal really save him? Um, well, Mr. Neal was dead. So really wouldn't have mattered about Mr. Neal. Could he have saved him from being killed? Well, we'll never really know because he died. But yeah, I mean, the reason John wanted to kill Paul was because of his brother's behavior, his best friend's behavior, them selling drugs. They basically got to Paul, wanted to get to Paul before he got to them. Um, and they were able to win over people like Joe Piney and Sammy and Frankie and all these people. Now, not a lot of people know this, but they had several plans to kill Paul. One of them was Joe Peruto was going to kill him at a diner. Sammy told me this directly. He was going to kill him at a diner. Joe Peruto was very sick and old and was a hitman. They said ultimately they didn't do it. They were going to do a Godfather style, put a gun in the bathroom. And the reason it never happened was because, according to them, a lot of cops went to that bar or that diner. So they never ended up doing it. And they were kind of dragging their feet. John didn't want to do the Sparks thing. And they basically said, look, we know he's going to be here at this time with these people. This is our best chance to get to him. And they used the mass confusion, which we know happened, to make it all work. And it did work. Paul Ricca is a Chicago boss that's rarely discussed. He's the real outfit head. Yep, we know that already. We know that. That's pretty well known. Gotti was there. His life depended on them getting it right and not double crossing him. Well, both of them. You're right. And I think Sammy probably believed that if he had to act as a backup shooter, he would have. I would like a movie to come out about Vic Amuso. He used to run with the Gallo crew. Yes, he did. So did Bobby Borriello. By the way, Sammy told an interesting story, as I said, about Joe Gallo. I thought it was a bit of a stretch. I've never heard it before, but he told it. So you're definitely going to want to hear that. Vinny is definitely a great supporter for sure. Big salute, Vinny Boombots. Yes, he's a good man. He's a good man. You're the man, bro. Thank you. Have you ever heard about the story about Manny Gambino actually staging his own kidnapping? No, I have not ever heard that. There were definitely people that would kidnap mobsters' kids and stuff. But one thing we do know about the Manny Gambino kidnapping is that James McBratney was actually not involved with that. And he was killed. He was someone that kidnapped people, but he was not involved with that actual kidnapping, um, which is interesting. So what's going on with John Gotten Jr.? I think you're talking about John Gotti Jr. Nothing. Well, I don't think we've mentioned him tonight. Jeff, you bring new light to history and OC. Yep, I'm trying to. Love watching your show. My favorite mobster is Al Capone. Very interesting. Thank you for being here. Interesting how that guy grew up in a town full of cartel gangsters and he took the right career path and went after the cartel. Very well done. Thanks, bro. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I think the opposite. I look like a nice guy. I'm criminal minded. Yeah, I feel like the people that are criminals always probably look nice. I feel like I'm gonna try and give that much to sit down. I'm not sure what you mean, bro. Yeah, it is sad you have to think like that. But I don't think it really had anything to do with the guy himself. Maybe it did. I don't know, but um, I always just think about that kind of stuff. In New York City, Mayor Adams wants to install metal detectors in front of the turnstile. Yeah, it would work. It needs to happen, I think. Walter Johnson was a psycho. He killed a cop. Yep. I remember saying that in the video I did. Who's going to win the World Series? The Astros are going to win the World Series. Jeff, the problem is that we have to keep our heads on a swivel. These morbid thoughts is your own street smarts telling you that nobody is safe. Yeah, I don't know why I just thought that right away, but I just did. I just, I'm sure that guy was just traveling home or something, but I don't know. Sammy had to switch families, or he would have gotten whacked. Um, yeah, I'll be honest. That's not true. And he actually, again, he talked about that, guys. And I'm urging you to check it out. Why do you think is that John Jr. never does interviews? I don't know. I don't know. I guess he just wants to move on with his life, probably, or maybe he doesn't want to be called out for certain things. I don't know. Jeff, you should do an episode about Steven Seagal being extorted by the Gambinos. Yeah, I'm actually going to do a video on a guy called Primo Casarino. He was involved with that. So we'll definitely talk about it in that episode for sure. Sonny Ciccone. Jeff, is the mob still involved with the Carpenters Union? I'm sure they are in New York and certain locals. Did I miss something? When did you sit down with Sammy the Bull? Today. The interview will be out next week. Are you ever going to do a show about Jimmy Coonan or the Westies and maybe Mad Dog Sullivan? I'm not going to do Mad Dog Sullivan, but yes, we'll do a show about the Westies probably in the next month or so. Maybe 2-3 weeks from now, we'll do the Westies for sure. See if I can get TJ English on. I'm going to try and give 100 to the sit down. Well, whatever you can do. That's very nice of you. Astros are cheaters. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Did you get into Sammy being contacted with Joe Bonanno after he turned witness? Seems too far fetched, but who knows? No, I didn't get into that. I've never heard about that. What's up, bro? Well, I mean, we've been on for about 40 minutes, so you missed the whole show for the most part. Do you think the mob is really recession proof? Um, well, yeah, I mean, they're in a lot of businesses that are addictions, let's say. It doesn't really matter if there's a recession. People are going to gamble. Pandemic proof? I wouldn't say that. I think the bookmaking and stuff like that is definitely a problem if there's a pandemic because there's no sports, which we know. I do want to say Dom Grandi, Philly Capo, was sentenced to 78 months on Wednesday, I believe it was. So Dom is going to go to federal prison for the next 60 months ish, 5 years. Dom is pretty young. Little background on Dominic. His father is a rat, Wayne Grandi. Obviously, the kid is totally different. He's a stone cold gangster, allegedly. I guess it's not alleged. He's a convicted felon. But, he, like a lot of the other Philly guys, are going away. Stevie Mazzone's going away. Sonny's going away. Anthony Nicodemo's been away for about 10 years. He got a 50-year sentence for murder in that DiPietro hit in South Philly back in 2013, I think it was. 2700 Eisminger. I remember because I lived on 2600 Watts at the time, right down the street. It was during the day. And this is a lot of younger guys in prison. Nicodemo has kids. He has a wife. His kids have had to grow up without him. You look at Grandy. For the next 5 years, I know he has a little kid. He's got to go to prison for that for now. Luckily for him, he doesn't have to report until January, so he gets about 2 months on the streets, which would be rough, I think. If I ever got a federal prison sentence, knock on wood, you never know. I would want to go like within a few days, right? I want to get it over with. I wouldn't want to go right away. I would kind of want to be in the middle. Like, can I get a week or two? Kind of get my ducks in a row, if you will. But he reports early January. So he'll get to spend Christmas with his family. And that's the life of a gangster. And that's something that his wife and his family are going to have to deal with. Now, their family is no stranger to that, whether it be his mother or him or whoever. But that's the stark truth about a lot of those guys, whether it's Philly or New York or Chicago or wherever. If you're in that life, you're going to have to face the music occasionally. Now, we'll give Dom some credit. He is in that world, and he's decided not to cooperate. He wants to protect his friends, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's very honorable, right? He's decided to get in dirt, and he's got to pay now that he has got dirty. 78 months, a long time. Again, he's going to do 5+ years. That's 80%. You don't get out within 2 or 3 in the feds. You got 80. You figure, 78 months, that's 80. That's 80 months, basically. 50% is 40 months. He's got to do 80%. So he's going to do 5 years. Dom's early 40s, I believe. So it's not too bad, but it's also not a year or two either. Did you ask Sammy about the Mafia today and what he thought about it? No. We maybe get to that at another point. But we had a lot of other things we were getting into. I heard a little bit about that. I got to read more into it. I don't want to comment on it just yet, but I have heard about that. Yes. Listen. I think I've heard the rumors. I've talked about them. Page 6, certain groups have alleged that is true. Look, it's not my business, to be honest. I've heard it. We've all heard it. Would I ask him about that? Look, I don't feel that it's germane to the discussion, quite honestly. And one of the questions that I didn't press him on was Nick Shabetta. I didn't. He asked me and said he didn't want to talk about it, and I left it at that. You got to remember, that's his family. It's his wife's brother. So Do I think he is? No, but who knows? I it's not really my business, right? Just like my love life, it's really none of your business, any of your business. It's just like your life is not money in my business. Um, we've all heard that though. Did you ask Sammy what he thought of the two Gotti movies? I did bring up the first one a little bit, but no, I didn't ask him what he thought of it. No. Um, yes, I did today. It'll be out next week. TB. Did everything Sammy said align with what you know, or the things he said you don't believe? Not completely. No. There's he like I said, he told me a story about Joey Gallo that I've never heard before, and I don't think any of you have either. Whether or not it's true, you know, I've never heard it. It definitely lines up historically though. Um, but yeah, there was a lot of things that even I learned, and I feel like I have a pretty good grasp of the content. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's your prerogative for sure. Did you ask Sammy about the YouTube shows like yours? He actually talked about them a little bit. He had a little he made a little funny comment about people in their basements. He definitely commented on that for sure. Did you mention John Aylet and Albanians to Sammy? Does he know you're Albanian? No. And did I mention John Aylet? No, I did not. I did mention Jimmy Calandra because he did a video with Jimmy Calandra. I mentioned Mikey Scars as well towards the end of the show. Still a good amount of time though. Usually, if a family member turns rat, be a father or brother, the guy will be like a Dom Grandy and hold water and not rat just because he knew his pops or uncle was a rat. Yeah, for sure. Was Bilotti the underboss of the Gambinos when he got hit? You're talking about Tommy Bilotti? Was Tommy Bilotti the underboss? Well, let's think about this. Paul was the boss. Tommy was the underboss. Consigliere was, I believe, still Joanne Gallo at the time. So yeah, he wasn't underboss for very long, but yes, he was the underboss. Um, Sorry guys, I'm getting all sorts of fucking notifications on Twitter. All right. Frenzy said that the life destroyed families. Well, I don't think we need him to tell us that. I think we all knew that. We do a Funzy Thierry episode. Sure, sure. We'll get to that point. Sure. Brady Girding. Come on. Listen, guys. Do I? Let me answer it this way. Do I find Karen Gravano attractive? Personally, yeah, I do. Yeah, I find Karen Gravano. Sure. She- Listen, guys. If you don't, you're just lying. She's a decent looking woman, I think. She's kind of. I like a. I don't like a fat chick, but she's definitely thick for sure. Good looking woman for sure. All right. The Gotti movie is great, but it makes Sammy really look like the bad guy. Yeah, and the whole like him meeting John and like trying to like wow him and stuff, and he killed Favara. Like that's not true. Definitely not. Yeah, definitely check it out, Charles. I think you'll have all your questions answered when it comes to the hit for sure. You seem to overlook Quack Quack. What do you mean? I mean, he's kind of an ignoramus, wasn't he? Sammy was a big time killer and he killed people just to make their companies and make more money. He was cold as they come. Um, yeah, he was definitely doing stuff for sure. Randall Justice, what's up? Ramona would be better. And Ramona's very attractive as well. Have you seen his grandeur? She's very, very attractive. Definitely beautiful. I've talked about that before. What's up, Jeff? How active is the Philly mob today? Definitely still going on for sure. I did a video, Rick Slick, on the current state of the mafia in America. You can check that out. I went over all the families. Um, all right, Paul, take it easy, man. Thank you. Maybe at some point. Yeah, I mean, for 50, she looks great. She looks great. Yeah, everybody's good, I think. But all right, guys, I'm gonna wrap this thing up. It's been about 50 minutes. I usually try to keep these around an hour. Um, I will admit I don't believe we're gonna have a video tomorrow. The reason for that being is I just have a busy day tomorrow. I've had a busy week, but a lot going on. I actually have to got to run around tomorrow morning. I got some college football stuff to do in the morning. Then I got to get a haircut, and I'm actually going to a little thing for my family that they're having. And then I'm going to go out at night. So I don't believe we're going to have a video tomorrow, guys. Be the first Saturday in a while we didn't do a video. But I just have so much going on. I was going to hope to get it done today. Or yesterday, but I just it just didn't line up. And I put out 3 videos the last week or so. So, and I figured next week this should be a pretty big interview. So I think we're gonna just pop out. We'll do a video on Tuesday and then we'll have a video out. Or maybe I'll do a video on Monday and a video on Wednesday. We'll do something like that. So we'll get a video maybe on Monday instead. Um, so yeah. Did you interview Sammy in person? No, I did not. We did it over Zoom. $15 super chat. Thank you, not me. That was very nice of you. Everyone says the only way out of the mob is death. Next time you interview a made guy, can you please ask what their status is after they rat? Are they still made but on the shelf? What's the deal? Yeah, so Mikey Scars talked about this recently. RJ and Mikey talked about this. Go check out their channel. They actually talked about this. I think they did it in the latest video. They talked about that. Yeah, I mean, they're basically out, but they're I mean, once you take that oath, you're always in. And they can't fill your spot until you die. That's kind of how it works. Thank you for the super chat, not me. I don't know if I answered your question, but I know they talked about that recently. Falcone Transportation. What's up, Falcone? How you doing, buddy? I'm doing well. I wouldn't know. I don't believe she does, but she'd probably make a lot of money on it. Right? Take it easy. Appreciate that, Frank. Minnesota. Minnesota. He didn't kill Tony Bananas. That's not true. That never happened. Um, that's completely false. Have a great night, everyone. Same to you. Speaking of Mikey Scars, why is it that he and many contemporaries haven't been clipped? I realize they move a lot, but it seems strange. The mob doesn't kill people anymore. It's not happening. Thanks for all you do, man. By the way, guys, okay, I was in Little Italy last night. I was down there for about an hour. Okay. There are gangsters walking around. Okay. I walked right into a spot. There was a fucking capo in the back of the restaurant. Didn't say a thing to me. I'm sure he knows who I am. Even people like me. What do you think? They're gonna come up and give me a smack for talking about the mob? You think they're gonna kill somebody? No, that ain't happening. But guys, listen, like I said, you can go to Little Italy right now. There are 3 or 4 different places that are run by Genovese, Gambino people. They're all there. You can go walk right in. You can go up and take a picture with them if you want. I didn't do that, but you could. I don't need to tell you guys what places I'm talking about here. They're in Little Italy. They serve sweet stuff. That guy's a capo. Everybody knows it. Same to you. Appreciate that, Justin. Take it easy, bro. Hail victory. I think you're talking about Michigan. Yes, Michigan. It should roll tomorrow. Appreciate that, Reels. Yeah, Pat, I just gave it to you. Minnesota. Can you listen, please? All right. See you later, Tiger Town. No, not a pizza. Well, there is a pizza shop owned by a capo, but that's not where I was. Was there any mob involvement in the 9/11 cleanup? Bobby, Ronnie G. Alonzo was at that allegedly. Was he involved guy then? I don't believe so. No, no, not that I know of. Not that I know of. But Ronnie G, I believe, was involved with that cleanup. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you checking in. I hope you all have a great evening and stay safe. I will see you all next week. Probably going to have a new video out on Monday. So look out for that. I'll see you then. Bye bye.